Breaking news, Commanders Nation. First bomb. T. Higgins could be on his way to DC, and this is explosive. The Bengals receiver has frightening numbers, 911 yards and 10 touchdowns in just 12 games. Imagine Higgins alongside McLaurin and Daniels. This offense would be unstoppable. But wait, because Zach ERTZ is begging to stay in Washington. The veteran TE, who gave us 66 receptions, 654 yards, and 7 touchdowns in the regular season, wants to continue being part of this revolution. His chemistry with Daniels is undeniable, but Adam Peters has a crucial decision to make. And for the final blow, Sam Hartman just signed with the Commanders. The sixth passer with the most yards in NCAA history, 15,656, and tied for fourth place with 134 touchdowns, is here to stay. This former Notre Dame player could be the perfect complement for Daniels. Don't dare to miss a second of these mega news. Give it a like, subscribe, and hit the bell because the revolution in Washington is just beginning. Commanders Nation, the future is bright. Big news in Washington. Hold on, because this is huge. You know what's the craziest part of all this? A year ago, in 01, and I repeat, in 01 gave a penny for the Commanders. And now, look at them. Reaching the NFC Championship game like it's nothing. I tell you this, the future in Washington is brighter than the midday sun. But wait, because it gets better. Have you heard the rumors? T. Higgins, ladies and gentlemen. Pro Football Focus is dropping the bomb, and I believe this is no coincidence. Let's analyze this step by step, because this is serious. We have Jayden Daniels, this guy who has revolutionized our offense. Have you seen how he plays? It's a show, and he's just getting started. Terry McLaurin, our warrior, our leader, a receiver who makes the impossible look easy. And now, imagine adding T. Higgins to this mix. Please! I'm going to give you numbers that will make your jaw drop. 73 receptions, 911 yards, 10 touchdowns, and all this in just 12 games. And you know what's the best part? We have the money to do it. We are the third team with the most salary cap space in the entire NFL. The third! But now I ask you, can you imagine an offense with Daniels throwing the ball, McLaurin on one side, and Higgins on the other? This would be a video game. NFL defensive coordinators would have nightmares. And here's the interesting part. Some will say, but it's a lot of money. Please! How much is a Super Bowl worth? How much is making history worth? I believe that when you have the opportunity to form a super team, you have to do it. Look at what happened this season. We reached the NFC Championship game and fell short. Do you know what we lacked? That X factor, that player who can change the game at any moment. And who better than Higgins? I'll tell you something else. Great teams are built by making bold decisions. Do you remember when the Chiefs went for Travis Kelce? When the Eagles bet on A.J. Brown? Those moves changed franchises. But here's my million-dollar question for you, Commanders family. If we had to choose between Higgins and reinforcing our defensive line, what would you do? Because I tell you this, in modern football, if you don't score, you don't win. Do you know who's begging to stay in Washington? Zach Ertz, ladies and gentlemen. And I tell you something, he has every right to ask for it. Do you remember when we signed Ertz? Many doubted, many said he was finished. Ha! Look at him now, 66 receptions, 654 yards, and 7 touchdowns in the regular season. And in the playoffs? 18 receptions, 155 yards, and 1 touchdown. Who's finished? But this goes beyond the numbers, family. I ask you, when was the last time we had such a reliable tight end? This man has been like a second father to Jayden Daniels on the field. He's his safety zone. And you know what's the most impressive? Listen to his words. I'm not going to retire because I had too much fun this year. I feel rejuvenated. I feel young. That's the spirit. This is a man who found his second youth in Washington. But now comes the interesting part. Adam Peters, our new GM, has a tough decision. I believe we need Ertz for several reasons. He's a leader. Have you seen how he has mentored Yankoff, Sinat, and Bates? This is priceless. And what about his chemistry with Daniels? After McLaurin, he's his most reliable receiver. Now I ask you, can we afford to let go of a player like this? A veteran who knows the system, who produces on the field, and who is a leader in the locker room. No, sir. Yes, I understand it's a business. Yes, I understand we have to look at the money issue. But I tell you something, when you have a young quarterback like Daniels, you need veterans to guide him. And Ertz is that guy. And you know what else? In that championship game against the Eagles, when everything seemed lost, who kept fighting? Zach Ertz. This man has the heart of a warrior. But here's my question for you, Commander's family, how much would you be willing to pay to keep Ertz? Because I tell you, sometimes the value of a player goes beyond statistics. This is crucial. We are building something special in Washington. We have a new GM, a star quarterback, a young and hungry team. Don't we need veterans like Ertz to lead the way? And one last thought, in today's NFL, finding players who really want to be on your team is pure gold. Ertz wants to be here, wants to be part of this. Isn't that exactly what we need? Leave me your comments. Should we keep Ertz? How much would you pay for him? Do you know who just signed a contract with the Commanders? Sam Hartman. And before you say who is this, let me tell you something that will blow your mind. Are you ready for these numbers? Because they are ridiculous. This guy is the sixth in NCAA history in passing yards with 15,656. And wait, he's tied for fourth place in history with 134 touchdowns. This is no small feat. But I ask you, why is this signing so important? First, we only have two quarterbacks under contract for 2025, Jaden Daniels and now Hartman. Mariota and Driscoll are gone. And you know what's the most interesting? This guy has an impressive college history. At Wake Forest, he broke all the records. All. And when he went to Notre Dame, what did he do? He was the team's captain and MVP. But now I tell you this, do you realize what it means to have a backup quarterback with this potential? In today's NFL, you need two capable quarterbacks. Ask the 49ers. I'll give you more numbers because this is absurd. 63.5% completion rate at Notre Dame, 2,689 yards, 24 touchdowns, and only 8 interceptions. In a single season. And you know what's the best part? This guy already knows our system. He spent the whole year on the practice squad, learning, observing, improving. He's not just any rookie. But here's my question for you. Is Hartman the ideal backup for Daniels? Because I tell you something, having a young and hungry quarterback as a backup may be exactly what we need. And another thing, have you noticed that we now have two young and talented quarterbacks? Two! This is no coincidence, family. Adam Peters is building something special here. Look, some will say it's just a future contract. But don't be mistaken. This is the kind of move that builds depth in the roster. Do you remember when the Eagles had Nick Foles as a backup? How did that end? And before I finish, I want you to think about this. Hartman has records in the ACC, was a leader at Notre Dame, and is now learning behind Daniels. Isn't this the perfect scenario to develop a quarterback? Leave me your comments. What do you think of this signing? Is Hartman the backup we need? Should we look for a veteran instead? Commanders family, this is the moment to make our voices heard. The 2024 season brings crucial decisions that will define our future. Will T. Higgins be the missing piece that revolutionizes our offense? The tight end issue is also on the table. Do you think Zach Ertz still has gas in the tank to help us? And speaking of our backfield, is Sam Hartman the right answer as Daniels' backup? I need you to join this conversation because you are a fundamental part of this family. Your opinions and analysis make this community grow stronger every day. Don't forget to activate the bell to stay up to date with all the news about our team. If you're not yet part of this family, this is the moment. Click that subscription button and join the best community of Commanders fans. Together we will live every moment, every victory, every play. And remember, hail to the Redskins!